here. Okay.
Oh, I guess I need to record, don't I?
This meeting is being recorded.
All right, I like hitting the gavel. There we go. Yeah, it's official. Welcome everybody, Oregon City Arts Commission. I believe we should start with our roll call. And will you
Yeah, thank you. Tima Carlson.
Here.
Trieste Andrews.
Here.
Karen Burrig.
Here.
Choir. Here. Selena Jones.
Here.
Emma Lugo.
Here.
Josh Planton.
Here.
Jen Woodward.
Here.
All right, thank you. Am I missing anybody? Got everybody.
All right, we need to adopt our agenda, correct?
Does everybody have a copy of tonight's agenda? Is there anything anyone would like to add? I thought that in addition to the call for artists, we talk a little bit about the enhancement grant that we just won.
Yeah. So are we adding that to the agenda?
I'd like, yeah, I put it down as a discussion item, but
Okay.
that's,
Oh, yes, okay. I
Can
see
we
it.
add anything to the agenda, or do we have to wait for next meeting?
That's what we're at right now, right?
Yeah.
We're at that point.
yeah, if you want to add
wanted
something else to the
something.
agenda.
If we have time, I'd like to talk about budget, the budget meeting.
Okay.
The budget meeting,
Yeah.
budget meeting specifically, yes.
Right, specifically when they told us what our budget
Right.
would be for, and just some thoughts on that.
Yep, okay. Let's do it. Okay.
Anything else? Are we have to adopt our agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda for June 15, 2023.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Does that get a gavel? I don't know.
All acknowledged and then all in favor?
Aye.
All right, there we go.
There we go. Do we have any public comment today?
I have not received any public comment, although there is someone who's looking for the meeting, so hopefully she finds it.
It does say our commission meeting on the door, so.
Yeah, and I
there-
hope that, I think the door, everybody was able to open the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a different entrance or a door that can be perceived as an entrance?
I'm gonna keep checking my email, hopefully that person will find us.
Okay. Do we know who they are?
Carol.
Are there minutes from the last meeting to approve?
I didn't see it on the agenda, so just kind of didn't want to bring it up.
Maybe we do double.
Almost sneaked it in.
Next time.
Carol Dumond is the person who's looking for the
Okay, I don't know who that is, but we'll keep an eye.
I've received, she and I have corresponded via email before, and I feel, but anyway,
Okay.
hopefully she finds it. So I did prepare a staff report about our call for artists, if people have had a chance to take a peek at that. So this is following with the conversation that we had when Josh Wheeler from Public Works came and met with us back in March. And I want to thank Choir for going ahead and getting a draft of the call for artists ready for folks. She'd been working on it. She and I have talked a couple of times. And it was my intention to print it out tonight, but for some reason I wasn't able to print what she sent. So I think I'm just going to display it. So let me get it open. You can tell me, hopefully this is the right one. You said, Choir, you said it looked pretty different than the one I had? Or
Yeah.
was it just the one that had all the yellow highlights?
I know, I restructured it because and I took some things out and changed a wording to a few things.
Okay, because this looks, you know what, okay. The one that I had prepared to show everybody looks an awful lot like the one I handed out. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna find it in your email to me and then I'll display it that way. But while I'm doing that, maybe you can just share with folks some of the important things that you found in the,
Yeah, I think one of the main things I changed in the beginning was just the verbiage of making sure it was clear that it's a call for proposals, for artists or an artist team. And, I put artist team of 2, because I feel like, later in, the qualifications, I asked that. I also added to what's needed for the qualifications. I asked that, if it's one artist, they present 5 images of past works and a 1 to 2 paragraph statement of interest. And if it's 2 artists, they have 3 images each and a 1 paragraph statement of interest, so that we're not like reading a huge pile of paperwork if it's 2 people. But if that needs to change, that could change to artist team, question mark, whatever amount of people that team feels they need to be. So, there it is, okay. So I just changed a lot of the verbiage to make sure it said
And Jen,
artist.
I'll share it with you, Jen. I don't think Jen can see it yet, but I think I'll share it with Jen.
Our artist team. I think the deadline for where we're at right now is too close for people to send in designs July 28th, and the call's not even out yet. So I don't know if we can discuss pushing back a later deadline. I know Josh had said the artwork doesn't have to be installed when the Portland Loo is open. It can be done after. I think the date for opening is somewhere in September. So I think asking someone or to design 2 things before July 28th and get the finished work done by, I'm sorry, not December, September, is cutting it a little close, but I'm open to opinions on what those dates should be and can be. So I'm gonna.
And, excuse me, Emma. So Jen, in addition to trying to just share it to you, I just emailed it to you. So I think, okay. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
So, do you think that there would be a benefit to having it done at the time of the opening? Would that be ideal?
I think that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know if, because the call isn't out there just yet. I feel as an artist, like having to come up with proposals, even if it was 2 people, like an artist team, 1 for each thing, like the map and the wrap. Would you mind pulling it back up so we can see it too?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I did.
What would you think about putting the call out now for July 28th, and if we don't get responses, then extending it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Could you repeat that, please, Emma?
I was just putting the call out as it's written, and if we don't get enough responses, extending it.
I vaguely remember Josh from saying that I don't think the September dates may be firm. I don't know if anyone else kind of remembers that.
Yeah.
Maybe they'd be willing to push it back a bit, and we could extend the date a little bit more. Maybe that's something to clarify as an option too.
Yeah.
I know, I like the extended option because it does keep us on track, but gives us wiggle room. And I know from the artist side, when you see a call when the dates have been extended, I feel more likely to apply because it tells me that they did not get enough applications that were suitable. And so I'm like, oh, I should apply for that.
So you're saying there's a chance.
What would you say is a fair amount of time to reply to this type of proposal? 4, 6, 8 weeks?
Ultimately, an application like this doesn't take very long to prepare. It's really the amount of time it takes for it to get in front of the artists.
Okay.
You could do the application in a day or 2. We just have to get it in front of them to do it. With holidays coming up and 4th of July and vacations and all of that thing, school's ending and Juneteenth and 4th of July, but I like staying on track as much as possible and extending it if we have to.
Do we have a date in September, like a firm date of when they want to?
I don't think he had one when he, they don't have a firm one, and I do also remember him saying that if it's blank for a week or 2 weeks, that would be okay, but, maybe not too much longer than that for fear it might get tagged,
But also, I feel like, is there is there like gonna be like a grand, like an opening thing, like, hey, we got a potty, like event? Because if that's so, that would be ideal to have the art up there, because then it's like also like, but they're a commission did it.
When's the first city?
15.
Oh, so that's way, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything in the fall that Oregon City does?
Yeah, is there like a celebration in September, like
What's that?
car show or something?
Yeah.
Oh, they do that in August,
What's
right?
in,
The car show?
oh, but
They
that's
do an
still,
open antique fair.
Antique fair.
I would have to be in, you know,
August too.
September is when the ported thing is going in, so it'd have to be.
Yeah, they do a harvest thing in August.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, October, they do like a
Look it up
Halloween
for
pub
downtown,
crawl.
because they usually have a whole
That's
list
not,
of
that's
events.
after September, but
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
yeah, because it can't be before they have the loom
Maybe
in,
a
'cause
wine
then
walk.
Yeah.
they wouldn't
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
celebrate it then.
I was just thinking like, so say their install date was September 20th, but the art was a few weeks back, but they were gonna do like a, hey, install, like
Yeah.
grand opening the day they installed. We would wanna make sure the art was on the day they installed that. Or if they wanna
Yeah.
wait to do that till the art's installed, so it could be like one big shebang,
Yeah,
that would be ideal.
although potty parties,
Potty
pretty hilarious.
I know, it's just-
But that's kind of why they should do it.
It's fun to have a dedicated
Maybe we could have a grand opening.
Yeah,
Like, right?
we should do one porta potty party for public art.
I don't know if that's the best
Yeah.
way to advertise our group, guys.
Well,
It would, we get our name out there, we should do some really funny stuff. We could find some swag.
maybe don't use the porta potty language, but public art.
I do have a feeling that they want to do something about it, and I would also imagine that DOCA would also want to have some kind of,
Yes.
like, I think it wants to be promoted.
Right.
And I think they're gonna wait till the art's on it. So even if
Okay.
even if there is 2 weeks in between or something like that, so I'll find out more about what they're projecting for the date, but, I think the party should be when the art's installed.
So do you have the full
They have
timeline
a
in
fall
there?
wine and cider walk on Thursday, September 14th.
It's 28th, right? Wasn't that anyway.
Yeah.
Good
And
to
then
know,
the
though.
annual Oregon Trail 5K run is Sunday, October 1st, in the morning. We
That's a
could do
good
it
one.
in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
I bet they want it done by then.
Yeah, post run, yeah.
There'll be a line.
But the pub walk, that'll be a lot of line too, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, but seriously, so what does everybody think? My opinion is keeping the timeline and extending if necessary. Do we have anybody that thinks we should do differently?
So July 28th, does that align with our meeting? Or is that gonna be after our July meeting, so we wouldn't review until
That's
end of
why I
August?
picked it.
Why? I think that's
I think we talked about that in the scheduling, but I don't remember, but I feel like we had that conversation.
July meeting is the 20th
Oh,
of the,
So it would be it would be the following meeting, and then there would be time to prepare.
So
yeah.
August, so you'd have a month, around a month before.
Not quite. Let's see.
Yeah, depending on when in September.
The 20th is a Friday, so it wouldn't really get processed till the following Monday, which is almost the first day of August.
should we, I mean,
It'd be like 3 weeks to prepare it.
I have a question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just wondering why we would need the 3-week gap. That we should either have our meeting sooner, like have a special meeting to be able to review the applications, or allow, maybe set a later date. Because the applications will come in and they'll kind of just be sitting here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, but I think
Practical.
they'll need time to process it, I would imagine.
What do you mean by
What do-
process?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Well, they submit their stuff, and then you have to gather all of the applicants' information, their images, and figure out a review process for all, I mean,
You're saying that might be a lot for Anne?
Yeah, the city people.
Are we voting on who wins it?
Yes.
Right, we have the finals.
And how long does it take you to process if you were to get 10 applications?
With your 5 other
Process 19
projects.
enhancement grants did take me longer than I anticipated.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we are the deciding body, right? So, I mean, we'll prepare our recommendations and then, I know that in the call, although we'll get feedback from Public Works and Josh particularly, he said this is the deciding body.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not, assuming we get less than 20 applications, I should be able to do it in a couple of days. I'll just make copies and get it to everybody, so.
So a week out should be fine.
Yeah.
Yes, that should be fine.
Can I ask one question? So if July 28th is a Friday and they're just gonna sit there, can we give the artist like 2 more days and do
Yeah.
it, the Monday is the due date? Is
Yeah,
that
I mean,
nice to
that seems like an easy change because.
Yeah,
Well, why aren't we doing it a week before our next meeting so she has time to process? I don't know.
Well, if we don't get a lot in, that would give us a little more time to extend it.
Well, it would actually give us less. If we move the date even further, then we have less time to extend it because we would have already extended it. But, I mean, that's fine. We could split the difference, extend it a week, and then potentially be able to extend it 1 more week.
I mean, I wouldn't say that extending an application, I mean, maybe it's
not
attractive to you.
preferable,
It's not, so
but-
shouldn't we just go to what, give the most opportunity for the full deadline?
Yeah,
And
we just-
hope
I
we
mean,
don't extend it? I mean, I'd hate to use time just to save for the potential of
Yeah,
extending because
we just have to
then,
commit to then not having that as an option. If we go all the way close to our meeting.
which would be the.
August 17th.
August 17th is our meeting, so maybe August 11th, the Friday.
Well, we want to go through the weekend, right, for the artists.
Oh, I see, yeah.
well, yeah, but, okay, so weren't we saying that July 28th was necessary for Anne to have enough time to process so that we can also have enough time to read them, like receive them before our meeting? So Anne has a couple weeks to process and then we have like a week to look at them and then at
So
the meeting
August
we can
7th,
vote.
maybe?
7:31 when they come in.
That would be a week and a half.
I mean, if
when they
everything
come.
comes in by 7:31, I can get it all out to you by, I'll get it to you by that week. I'll get it to you that week.
What if it was August 7th? Because then you'd have a week and then you could give it to us and we'd have at least 4 weekdays before.
All of this stuff's supposed to be out a week in advance of the meeting though, right? So if we're looking at applications, all those applications have to be published by the 10th.
I try to give you guys a week.
Yeah, but is that doable for you if you got all the applications on the 7th and then them being processed by the 10th for us to review them before the meeting? Does that feel doable?
Yes, that is possible. Yes, I feel comfortable with that unless we get like 50
Yeah.
proposals.
Yeah, and then we could just revisit, like, if we have to.
That would be a great scenario,
Okay.
great problem.
That would be a great problem.
So the date is August 7th for the due date of the,
Well, that's a Monday. Do we want to do it Sunday night or Monday?
oh, Sunday night at midnight is a good way to go.
Yes.
August 6th, 11:59 PM.
Did we get?
11:59. I like it.
Yeah.
And if you try to hit send at 11,
No, she's not
At
gonna read
12,
it. Anne's just gonna be
your
like,
computer's
no way.
I will read it the following morning.
okay, sorry. All right.
8:06 at midnight?
Yep. Then when you come in Monday morning, they'll be there, ready, all done.
Yeah.
Nothing
Ready
else.
for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then if you wanna pull it back up, we can see the next question I had about it.
And then we're meeting on the 17th.
So can somebody summarize for me? I got a little lost in the dates. So when is the deadline and then when do we look at it?
The deadline is going to be Sunday of August 6th at nighttime, and then the city's gonna start to review and process the applications on Monday, the 7th, and get all of the information to us by August 10th, which is a week in advance of our August 17th meeting.
Oh, great, okay. And like we did last time, can we do that, what do you call it, the number rating
Yeah.
system?
Yeah.
Pre-meeting,
Yeah.
like we did a great job
Yeah.
on giving out those grants, because we were like, yeah.
Yeah.
Video already
I can
looked at
I can just edit it to reflect the qualifications we're asking for this call. And actually, there'll be less, so, because it's not like a budget or anything like that they're proposing, so it'll be even easier.
Look at us, how efficient we are.
Bam.
Okay,
Art commission is getting fun.
Yeah.
Long time.
It only took a little time.
All right, Claire, did you have another thing you wanted to
There's
talk about?
at least 4 more
All right,
highlighted areas I have to ask you guys about.
This is the next one.
Okay.
Put it on the screen again.
Oh, sorry, you don't wanna, yeah, sorry, that makes more sense.
Okay. So there's no fee to apply.
So I'm just scrolling down.
Yeah, scroll down until you find the next highlighted
Deadline.
portion. Da-da-da.
So then the 2
And
calls.
so, one of the things too, I'm sorry, that I did change is, I think in the first one, we had it organized as like, one person has to design this and another person has to design this, and I just took that away and I said, it's 2 design proposals. But I didn't say, you know, who, like, I'm not saying like, if you're doing a team, one person has to do one design, like, so I changed that. I just
So
want to make you aware.
anybody can do either
Yeah.
or both?
Yeah, it's clear that there's 2 designs, and if a single artist is applying, they need to do both designs, or an artist team can figure it out. So I tried to make that verbiage to make it clear, so, sorry.
So
Say
it
that
says
again?
you can do either or both.
Yeah, so an artist, so if one artist applies, they need to do both designs, or an artist team needs to apply and they can figure out who does what. Like, we don't have to tell them, like, one of you has to do this, one of you has to do that. Like, that's the point of artist team.
But what if they only wanted to
Either
do,
or both.
Yeah.
but I think now it's saying they have to do both. Could
Yeah.
they do either?
If a single person, like.
Well, do we want to limit it to, because doing the map design it could be a really different aesthetic or skill set than the.
Well, yeah, so we can, so later on in the call, like my recommendation for the illustrated map, also a verbiage, I changed it from cartoon map to illustrated map, because I think cartoon is more, like, implies something really specific. And also I was gonna ask about, they put in websites of cartoon map websites, and I was like, can we just not have those, like, people know what illustrated map
I
means?
think that's good.
Okay, cool. So down below, I said, like, I guess my hope is that, like, if we have either one artist do it or an artist team doing it, if one artist is like, I can't do both, I'm getting a team, like another person on board, then the map and the art, like, they don't have to be the same aesthetic, but they can complement each other. So they look good together.
But I think the thing that I'm thinking of, and maybe other people are, what if an artist just wants to do the exterior panels or just wants to do the map? I think they should be able to submit a map proposal
Yeah, then
and
that's.
not have to do an exterior proposal.
Right, they don't. That's when they become an artist team and they find another person to do it.
Well,
Or is that
without
okay?
having to find.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, they just want to do the map or they just want to do the exterior. I know myself, like, I'm not a map person. If
Yeah.
I had to do the map, I would not apply because
That's
that
true.
would keep me from applying.
Yeah,
And I think that would be true for a lot of artists. I think they should be able to apply for one or both.
I like the one or both too, just because of maps are,
Maps are tricky.
that's a tricky.
And I think it'll reduce our application pool if we require them to create a map.
gotcha.
And I also would say maybe make it clear that just because you have a team and you proposed an option for both, doesn't mean that both options might be selected. One could be selected and another option from someone else
That's
could be
true.
too.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and maybe, especially too, it would limit us, like, what if we really like their map, but their exterior panel's not that great?
That's true. That is true. Okay.
So,
Yeah, I can fix that. I can change that totally.
cool.
Okay.
Does everybody agree?
I agree.
Okay.
I do have a question though, and maybe it was discussed on the March 16 meeting that I missed, but is the wrap part of their requirement as the artist, or is the city providing the wrap that the artwork is printed on?
They're providing the design.
Yeah.
Just the design, and the city
Yeah.
does the contracting with a company that
Yeah.
creates them.
So later on in this call, like, I got a little more specific than the first draft, and I said, like, I tried to make it clear, like, what we're asking for is their proposal. Later on, you need to make a final draft of that, and then the city will print. I wasn't sure, that was another question I had, who's printing, and like, just specifications on like what type of image the artist has to produce so that they can print it, and I think that's more of a Josh
People took a
question.
look at what Josh sent us, so I've got
You know, which is a really good point, because you can only print, you know, for,
Actually, just ignore the top two
like,
pages and look at go down to the page that says.
It needs to be
Is this the
vector.
past,
Yeah.
the, what was
Yes,
there?
yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, what I'm sharing with you is that so that you can see like the size of the different panels and what they are, so.
So there was just one I was just gonna,
Oh, I have, sorry,
Yeah, so if you've got a, don't look at my two drafts, my draft call, look at the, turn to the page that says the specification.
One other thing that I wanted to throw out there was, I think in your draft here, you have an image of what the porta potty looks like, or the bathroom will look like, but do we have a image of the area?
Yes, that's what I wanted to just show, so we'll be able to share with the artists the exact size of each of the panels. So there's 3 panels.
yeah, of the
There's actually
surrounding
6.
area.
There's actually 6 panels on the porta potty,
surrounding area.
and
Okay.
it's my understanding that Josh was proposing that only the 3 exterior ones have art on them, because there's gonna be like a little space between the wall and the back, and so he was saying, we don't need to put anything on those panels, so it's gonna be the 3 panels that you can see.
street side.
Why do I
Street
have
side
the
panels.
impression that there was also something on the inside we were doing?
Well,
We decided not to, I think.
it's gonna be on the it's gonna be on the door, but it's gonna be on the outside of the door, and not the inside. Yeah.
Okay.
To prevent
Somebody
lingering in
come.
the bathroom.
Yeah, I think we can scroll down to the next highlighted thing.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, oh, there it is, okay. So, so in the first draft, there was design goals for the wrap, but not the illustrated map. So, down here, I put insert, so I wrote, here's a list of the Oregon City landmarks the map must include. But we don't have a list or any examples or that I could find, so I was like, insert list, or should we put that on attachment A somewhere? I only saw the examples for the cartoon maps. And maybe I was missing it, but,
No, you're right.
That's
I
a
think
really good point.
Minimum of or something.
yeah, and what I was trying to say before is what, if they're submitting something that has to be ready for print, it has to be in proportion to the larger size. So
Right.
those are specifications.
yeah, those are specifications I need from Josh, like, I don't know.
so, but
I know
don't the
that,
dimensions on the site specific. He's got dimensions on on that sheet.
yeah.
So does
he
that
has-
not?
He has dimensions, but the artist needs to know how big to make their design so that it can be replicated as a huge.
The
print.
resolution.
Like the resolution, so.
Oh, wasn't that? I think there was a DPI comment in there. I
And not
thought.
only the resolution, but the size. It
Right,
has to
you
be in
have-
direct proportion to.
Well, if they have. So do these measurements not count? I mean, I understand what you're saying about DPI, but do these measurements not? The panel needs to be.
DPI and resolution,
Yeah.
like that.
So the artist doesn't have to make an artwork the exact size of the panel. They just have to make artwork that's large enough. That's when the image is captured, either scanned or however. That's another thing. Who's doing the image capturing for like the design? How's the design? Like, does the artist have to provide a digital design? We don't have any of those specifications.
I think it's actually, I think the answer to that is in the site specification where it says the format of the submission could be either a JPEG or a PDF with a minimum resolution of 200 to 300 PPI.
Okay.
That has to be 200 PPI at the size it's going to be printed.
Yeah.
As somebody who knows this stuff, it can't be that.
And the
at
size that's gonna be
8.5 by-
printed is the size that's gonna
So,
be.
so basically, if
We gotta add the word
artist,
size is gonna be printed, or
If
we're gonna
an-
get some tiny stuff.
so what you're
Okay.
saying is if the artist actually made a piece of work that was the size of the panel, then the image captured, the digital image of that piece of work needs to be 200 to 300 PPI.
At that size.
At that size.
At that
So-
size, correct.
So
At
we
that
need, right, we need to figure out, I know there's a way for them to make like a, not huge, you know, like, and I know like the printer I go through, they have a scanner that can like scan an artwork and make it 600 PPI so that you can print it much bigger, so.
I think we're getting ahead of ourselves because that is assuming that an artist is submitting an original, like a painting or something. I think it is also very likely it's going to be like digitally generated art, so like we have to leave it versatile.
Yeah.
And just provide the resolution that we need and the dimensions.
Which Ann is right, it looks like it's 51 inches and 1/8 tall, and then 48 by 5/16 wide.
Right, so that's the size at that DPI. And if it's an original art, then they would need to provide a scan of that. That
Now,
was bigger.
do we want to offer them the option of doing 200 PPI? I would think 300 would be a minimum.
Yeah, well, that's just what, yeah, I think 300 is better too, but, because I know that's what our printers, as
mean,
somebody
when
who manages the photo lab and photo printing, 200 DPI is low.
So the answer to that is the artist is responsible for image capturing themselves if they don't do it in a digital form. They are responsible for getting
Yes,
the
providing,
design.
yes.
And that's on them to do the right research to make it.
Yeah. And in terms of the actual printing of the product, that will be on the city, the Public
I would
Works
do
will do
300
that.
DPI.
So Public Works will print the, well, they've got this wrap company that's gonna print the wrap.
Yeah.
And install the wrap. So what we need from the artist is the PDF or the JPEG.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when we did art in the windows, we only asked the artist for a digital image of their piece of art. Then the customer chose whatever they want, but when it went to the printer, we had to rework it so it was a certain size, so when it was blown up to 3 feet by 4 feet or whatever it was, 4 feet by 5 feet, you didn't lose the art.
Right.
So it had to be a specific size and a
Right.
specific resolution.
That's what we're saying, it has to be that, it should be really 300 DPI at the size that it is going to be printed.
And I don't think that's an uncommon request
No,
right
that's-
now, like for you to send, we need these images, this size, blah, blah.
Do you think it's just like we should say at the size it's going to be printed? Like in addition on that sentence so that
I
it's
would,
clear?
I
Okay.
would.
300
Because
PPI at these
there could be
dimensions,
artists that
51
don't
and an
know
eighth
that.
by
Yeah.
And
48 and 5/16.
they could just send you an 8x10. That's,
Yeah.
oh, my 8x10 is 300 DPI.
Yeah.
No, that won't work.
Okay.
What if somebody wants to do something besides a panel printout? Like, what if somebody wanted to do something three-dimensional?
That's
That's
not an
not the
option.
call.
I don't think it's an
Yeah, that's not
option.
what we're asking.
Okay.
I think that because they're coding it too with something to prevent.
Yeah.
I think in just preventing graffiti or cleaning up.
That would be cool, but I don't think it's what Public Works has in mind. Yeah.
We'll find other opportunities for that.
Well, yeah. I think we answered all my questions about final design criteria. So we could just,
We just need the list of map locations.
yeah. So I don't know if that would be just reaching out to the tourism.
I probably do, would it be DOCA for that?
For the location, what do you mean?
For the map, like the things to call out on the map.
Oh.
Because that is a very specific list of, it's not necessarily like commercial businesses, it's the long-term things that aren't gonna change over time.
Yeah. Like the public art and
Yeah,
historic.
public art,
interests.
historic markers, things like that.
Why don't we start the list and then we can confirm that with DOCA? I mean, I remember in our conversations with Josh, we talked about some historic locations, and then also other art installations that we want
Yeah,
to
public
specifically
art,
call
historic
out.
markers.
Yeah,
I just received the list from the planning department. It's amazing. It's a huge file and it not only has description, where it is, how much it costs, but pictures of the art. And
Yeah, that would be
it's a
helpful
huge spreadsheet.
for the art at least, yeah.
Sorry, is this gonna be a map of all Oregon City or a map of downtown Oregon City?
That was another really good
Yep.
question.
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, we need map
If it's a
parameters.
door, it's not going to be very large.
I would say downtown
I would,
Oregon
yeah,
City.
People in
downtown, which
Midtown
then,
are
what does
gonna
that
get
define?
upset, I'll tell you right now.
But
It's where the
still,
historic districts are and restaurants and the library and the fire station and.
I mean, you could do it, like, I
you could
mean,
do it to the library.
Yeah.
like, and down, like maybe stop around the library
yeah,
in downtown. Because people might want to get to the library, you're right.
yeah.
Does
it-
it
it
have to be
kinda
a
be-
workable map? Could it be like a old-fashioned map or something?
Not to scale, you mean?
No, I mean like
Yeah.
a map from the 19th century or a map from when this
Oh.
was-
Illustrated, why not? Yeah.
If it's
I don't know,
illustrated.
Maybe before there was even an Oregon City, I don't know.
Yeah,
Dirt roads.
But I think it still has to function as a map for the
Yeah.
sake of tourists.
Yeah.
so I think it would be cool because it's near the elevator to include some of the stuff that you would take the elevator to get to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
it worked, like years ago, we worked down, making a map for downtown, and then Midtown went berserk and said, why do we only have downtowns? And then Midtown got involved, and we literally
is Midtown?
walked up and down.
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
considered
We
Midtown?
went from from the top of the
middle
elevator,
terrace.
and it goes to where it turns into Malala.
Oh,
So
where
it
Seven
go-
turns.
Midtown is from the top of the elevator to Malala. And
Yeah. I mean, that would
every
include,
business on
These
Midtown.
tiers.
that would include, like, if we did it like that, that would include like the media, the
So
studio.
that's a bit far, I
but-
think.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, I mean, I would like to see more of Oregon City, because I feel like, again, to Tria's point, like, I would like to see what all of Oregon City is about, and not just the downtown historic part. I mean, it's a way of bringing all of this together in one map, isn't it?
I agree to some degree. I think I would go back and ask what the purpose of the map is, as far as that. I mean, yeah, I like the idea of highlighting all of Oregon City, but I think about what's the purpose of the map, who is it for, and then what realistically and practically are we gonna fit on
Yeah.
the map that's on this door that is then going to be usable and practical for the people that are going to
I mean,
look
it's
at
a
it.
pretty tall door.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's tall and long.
Yeah.
Doesn't, Oregon City, I feel like is a little bit wider.
Yeah, we're kind of,
Well, even the downtown is more wide. I mean, it depends
Long
on,
and
you know, how
yeah.
you angle it, but if you do it
I would've-
parallel to the river, then you're gonna go in the wrong direction
And
anyway.
even the map that we finally finalized, they were two different maps. There was a map of downtown, and then there was a map of Midtown, and those were both posted inside the elevators with little map brochures you could pick up, but we ended up separating them.
Oh my
Midtown,
gosh.
downtown. So, you know, couldn't fit it all on one.
that's why I'm leaning towards less rather than more,
Yeah.
because it just gets so
It gets
complicated, and the farther we go, then the more monuments, the more things need to go on it.
yeah.
What if we chose like a half a mile radius? I feel like this is like a walking map.
Just to.
Walking
map.
Yeah, I would
You
agree,
know.
that's how I've been thinking.
I
it
mean,
too,
and
a
I
walking
remember when
map.
we talked before, people can take pictures of it or whatever, but it's really not for the person who's gonna take it and then drive, past Midtown.
That's the library.
But that might be a way,
Can we put the word walking map in
include
the
at least
description
within
somewhere?
Yeah, I
Sorry,
put
I'm
that,
sorry.
highlighted that.
Is you cool?
Yeah, walking map.
Walking map, thank you,
Walking map.
that's great way of, exactly.
And we can include like a website, like
Or
to
QR
the-
code.
Yeah,
You know,
QR code it to the list of the city historic sites that's on the Travel Oregon City webpage, and the QR code, I like that, yeah.
To the public art.
So, yeah.
I like the walking map idea is really nice. Really good way to experience Oregon City. Gives it good purpose and good direction for the artists too, and how to approach
Yeah,
the map.
yeah.
Are there specific pieces of art that we want to, like, I think it would be helpful to at least start to generate the list of things we want to include on the walking map. Maybe we can if we can we've got time to generate that list tonight, and then if we need to add to it, we can. So we've got so it's gonna be a walking map, and
So
we're
if I
gonna
were
use
doing a
QR
walking
codes to tell people who are visiting how to find out about information about other parts of Oregon City.
I mean, I'd want to tell people how to walk from downtown Oregon City up to the, and then down to the falls. I don't know. Could we include that in there, or is that too far away?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some things we would all agree, like Museum of the Oregon Territory, the Promenade, the library,
Yeah.
Elevator.
obviously.
Yeah.
I feel like the elevator, you don't even, like, that's the
Yeah.
center of the map. What else? The food, well, we're not really focusing on business.
I mean, take a break though, go downtown, experience
of the
the
parks.
restaurant area.
Yeah,
where
Clackamas Park,
those
I feel
are.
like Clackamas
It's fun.
Park should be
Yeah,
on
Clackamas
there.
Park, yeah.
Clackamas Park.
What about the High Rocks?
High Rocks.
Or the bridge,
Is that
the high rock bridge.
No.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of
Where
like
people
the trail
swim?
and the,
It's all far away, but yeah, where everybody jumps into the river.
Yeah.
Or at least the cove, right?
I think at least the
I don't know
code,
if you've
yeah.
been there with me or not. No, that was Clackamas Park / Meldrum Bar Park, which
Right.
Meldrum Bar is technically in Gladstone, so
Yeah.
we gotta keep it on this side.
But I do like pointing out a couple of parks. I think that's a good mix, because if it's a walking map, giving people a
Yeah.
variety. I
Yeah.
just did a walking tour in Scotland, and I'm so about this. It makes so much sense.
Are
The
there
brand new park that just
historical
opened.
houses?
Yeah, historical houses, the parks, the public art,
Something Creek. What is it?
Oh, is it Singer Creek?
historical markers. Is anybody getting all this?
Wait, I wrote it down. I'm the one who has to edit it. So
Okay, so we
I
got-
have- Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, no, go ahead, go ahead.
What I have,
train station.
I have historic
Yeah, train
sites,
station.
public art, and parks, and a walking map with a 0.5 mile
There was
radius.
a-
Train station might be a good idea if they want to
Train
just come
station.
into town without a car, you can walk.
And just knowing that that there is
Yeah.
a train station.
And the bus station.
The Oregon,
Well, that's the
Oregon
Amtrak.
Trail.
Yeah.
Wagony
Oh, the train and the bus station.
Interpretive
both.
center.
Yeah, thank you.
I wasn't thinking the
Interpretive
transit center, I was thinking the Amtrak station.
Yeah, Amtrak Center is the
Put the
interpretive center.
we could put TriMet on.
Yeah, I was just saying we could add, I wasn't saying the train
TriMet
station.
is so, or the Amtrak is so much cooler, but.
Size
It
of
really
front
is, it's
door,
very cute.
and that is, I don't think gives the height, doesn't give the width.
Did you get the
So it's
interpretive
57
center
3/4
across
inches
from
tall,
Amtrak?
but I'm not sure,
And it, yeah,
It's gonna be bent.
and it will be
I'm
bent,
trying
so
to
it's
avoid
right.
places like that,
It's a
but that
curved
one has been around
surface.
Unless
forever.
that
Why don't you like that one?
Is that?
Well, I think we were trying to avoid like businesses that could shift.
So Ann, I have a
over
question.
time as
No,
opposed to,
the
like-
location of
I
the
know.
loop,
Is
is that set in stone?
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
private
it going
land,
to
it's
be
not a
on
museum.
a sidewalk?
Oh.
Or is it at street elevation?
privately
It's gonna be
owned
on the
Moot
street,
is a
and so if
museum.
you're,
Okay, so we
if
could
you
do
are,
The end of the Oregon Trail with the wagon wheel is a private interpretive center, it's not a museum.
I mean, are
So it
they
could go
trying to
away.
prevent
Go away.
car
Is it
accidents?
for profit? Oh.
How are they doing that?
so there's a question about where exactly is this loo gonna go? And so if you're standing in front of the elevator, the entrance to the elevator, there's like 3 parking to your right.
Historic houses, can you?
It'll be the
Yeah.
second
Oh,
and
yeah,
third
historic houses.
parking space.
Is there going to be like poles or something in front of to prevent?
Can you put the library? Just make sure we get-
In fact, the last page shows you exactly where it's gonna be.
Yeah,
And, but I don't know about.
So I'm just
to
bringing that up
avoid
because
cars
drivers
crashing
on
into it.
Railroad Avenue and that turn on 99E are crazy. We actually had somebody hit the
We're gonna
pole.
install our drive.
Right, our building at Soulflex has been hit 3 times over the last 15 years.
Yeah, yeah,
The pole right in front of our
Paul's viewpoint, yeah.
backspace of our building was hit on Monday. Someone going 60 miles an hour through that tunnel.
And didn't somebody take out like the natural gas thing?
And excavator got stuck the week prior, and then a truck lost a wheel or something like a couple days later. I'm just, in terms of foreshadowing, I think there should be maybe some poles put.
That would be a very exciting bathroom.
Any risk of damage to the loo. I think
Get
it
the
might be
job done
worth
fast.
looking into.
In and out.
So when you
That's a
do-
really good point.
When you
I'll-
make the
I'll see
call
that.
for artists, are you going to do that specific, do a list of, or just say, these are some of the ideas, or is it up to the artist?
I think we need to make it, like, in the call, we may need to make it an attachment that they click on and go find, but it shouldn't be like the whole list is in the body of
Yeah.
the call. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, like these are required
Yeah.
content for the
Yeah.
map.
Just like we could put it in attachment A that has
Yeah.
we could add a map information section to attachment A. Do you like that idea, Ann?
Yeah.
Do we want to say it's required? I feel like that might limit some of the ideas we could get.
You could say these are the minimums required,
Yeah.
but otherwise, I think that's too broad to their personal view of what's significant about Oregon City
But we,
when
yeah.
part of our job is interpreting that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, maybe also just say no businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good
Mayor
idea.
has no
businesses.
No biz.
What, saying you, explain
Except for
that?
soul flags.
Well, because businesses can come and go and change, I mean,
Yeah.
we don't know how long this map will be
Yeah.
there for, so
Just
we don't want to
watch
necessarily
out.
pick something that is no longer than on the map.
Yeah.
We want to keep it to things
Is
that
it
generally will stay around for a long enough period that it doesn't go out of date.
Right?
Good idea.
The location wasn't prime though, because you had to.
But I always went by and I look in the window. I went in like once.
Everybody talks about the qualifying
Yeah.
house.
Cute.
So
It's
cute.
like, it's one of those, it's
Walking map.
And there's so many historic houses.
Let's see. We got them all on the list.
Yeah.
Public
We
art,
added
historic
historic
houses,
houses.
historic monuments.
Do you want me to go over my
Yes,
list real
let's
quick?
read the list. Yes,
So I
please.
have a list of historic sites and public art, and then we went on to say parks, a train station, maybe bus station, maybe end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center, Moot for sure because it's a museum, historic homes, library, the Falls viewpoint across from the Still House, and maybe the tunnel. The tunnel that goes under the train tracks that leads to the.
I mean, that's a lot already. If you
That's a lot.
flesh out all the historic houses and all the public
Yeah.
art and all the parks, that's
Yeah.
a lot. to
Did you
throw on
say
a
the
map.
elevator?
Well,
Oh,
I feel like
for-
but we should
given-
list it.
given-
We should
okay.
list it
They're
out.
gonna miss it if we
Because
don't.
if they're not from
Yes.
here,
We forgot the elevator.
if they're not from here, they won't think of it.
Choir, can you send that list to me, please? Your notes are better than mine.
Yeah, the Arch Bridge, do you want to do the Arch Bridge?
oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge. City Hall?
This might
Yeah,
this might be.
Because
Really?
technically we have 2 city halls anyway, so it could get confusing.
yeah.
What about that
City
weird
Hall
art
number one?
thing across the street?
No, I think, yeah, why would a visitor want to see that though?
They wouldn't.
No, I think that
Let's
was,
not brag.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw an idea out. I'm not necessarily sold on it, but what about churches?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
No churches?
Sure.
One.
there are
If it's a
historic
historic-
churches, yeah.
St. John the Apostle.
The one at Willamette Falls,
Cemetery.
Willamette Falls Unitarian Church has Povey stained glass. It's really beautiful.
That one is
It's like-
nice, that's true.
Yeah.
Is that the one by the
That's the
library?
pink one.
That's the pink
It's
one.
over by
Across from
me.
the library, that one?
Yeah.
It's like in between my house
But
and your house.
In the- by
churches
the
stay
library.
a lot
Yeah.
longer
Yeah.
than businesses, but they're also subject to change. But if they're in a historic building, do we want to like
The
historic?
Unitarian one is historically significant.
Okay, should we put historic homes / churches on the list?
I think historic
churches.
buildings.
Historic buildings, there you go, Selena. Historic buildings that
buildings.
could also happen to be a
Because the
church.
fire station is historic. It's so
Yeah.
cute with the.
At some point, we are gonna get too much, though.
I think we're there.
I think we're at too much.
We'll have to distill it like a
The artist-
must-have, and maybe you could throw in and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you might wanna say like 2 or 3 must-haves and then the rest are ideas.
Yeah.
Suggested.
Okay. Can we scroll down to my next highlighted
Yes,
area?
yes, let's do that.
I get that down. There's just a lot
Did
of.
you catch that, Anne?
Yeah, I'm trying to scroll.
Okay.
What happened?
Word's having an issue.
It's thinking. I have to apologize because I think part of the problem is that I have an open source non-word word
Oh, yeah.
that's free, and so
That's probably
sometimes
it.
there's little bugs, so I might have to like not use that from now on.
Just use Google.
Sorry.
Just use Google.
That's a fair point. It would be free with
free.
your
I'm gonna
Gmail.
close it, see if I can open
Fabulous.
it again.
Google Docs, Google Drive,
Yeah.
Google,
That stuff
Gmail.
confuses
You have
me.
Gmail?
Yeah, I understand Gmail.
It's in your Gmail.
I have
Google
images in my
Drive.
Google Docs that I can't get out. I'm like, I need to use this image. How did it get here, and how do I get it out? I don't know. I feel like-
We can sit down and go
Yeah,
through
we need a
this.
tutorial. We need a Google tutorial for me. Thank you.
You'll never have to worry
Let's
about
schedule
Word
that
again.
soon, very soon. I will be texting
You'll
both of you.
love it because it'll just save everything. It'll be
That
magic.
needs to be in the minute notes. I'm gonna tutorial. I need
Yeah, me
that.
too.
Okay.
Oh.
I think there's only.
All right, so it's
Okay.
final design criteria?
Yeah, I think we already answered those questions.
Oh,
I
okay,
can
that's
fix
right,
that.
yeah.
I think there might be.
All right.
Okay. So one thing that was in the call, but really because I used a call from a Metro bus wrap call. So something that sometimes public art, they offer like, well, for the top 3 designs, we'll give you some money because we knew it took
For the
a
time
long-
it took to
For the
design.
time it took. But then that takes away from the $5,000 budget. So is that even a thing we want to do, or is a thing we can do, or should we just ixnay that?
I think we should cut it.
Got it. Okay.
Does anybody, feelings? Anyone?
I haven't seen that.
Okay. It's common for bigger, especially bigger public art projects where they're putting many, many hours designing, like doing some 3D rendering and SketchUp, CAD, whatever.
Yeah.
But in this case, not so much.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll take the top 3 designs. I think the schedule was a little slimmer, and I put in final design due date, like when your actual design is due, because that wasn't on the schedule. But does that not need? I feel like if I was applying to this call, I would need to know when the final artwork was due before I even applied, because I'm like, do I have time to make the proposal and the artwork?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
August 6th.
The proposals are due August 6th. This is the.
She has that. I think she might be looking for that.
Yeah.
Can we check in with Jen to see, Jen, do you have any questions, comments, concerns?
No, I'm agreeing with the group.
Okay, we're just moving fast.
Comments or concerns.
Okay.
And I think
Makes you sleeping.
I think my last question is just, they have the eligibility, and down here, they have artists who identify with historically marginalized culture are strongly encouraged to apply. Do we like this verbiage for this purpose? Is everybody in agreement with that?
Can we take a second to
Yeah,
reread it?
yep. It's,
As much as I want to trust what's there, it would be the right thing to actually read it.
yeah, I underlined it, so.
Are you underlining the part that you're questioning?
Yeah, so the part that I'm questioning is above the highlighted question, so it starts with artists, it's after.
So artists who identify with a historically marginalized culture are strongly encouraged to apply.
We need to change
I've
the-
never heard it put that way before.
Yeah,
It is different.
yeah, I thought that
I
was
mean,
like.
typically, they, yeah.
I mean, I get what you're saying, though. It should, of course, it should be in there.
Yeah, a lot of the nuts and bolts.
I think to me the word historical is the one that's throwing me off a little bit.
Okay.
Like, yeah. I don't think they need to be historically marginalized. Like, does there need to be a long history of it? No, that's not really relevant. I know Oregon City's all about everything historical, but I don't think we need it in this particular sentence.
Okay.
I mean, in this, I think that line came from Public Works, I think, so we can change, I mean, we can
Yeah,
change it.
I didn't write that line, so that's why I'm asking
Yeah,
questions
I'm not.
about it.
I just feel like the historical part is just makes my head do a little what? Like a little, like huh?
Yeah, okay, so we can take out historically.
I mean, I think what you were saying, Emma, or if you want to say that, like, we typically see it a little bit phrased differently.
I mean, there's lots of ways. I mean, you could use DEI language.
Mm-hmm.
You could say women and people of color are strongly encouraged to apply. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could say it.
I mean, I agree. It's a really brief way of saying it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm okay with it, other than the historical part is weird.
You want to say something like,
It's tough, because once we start changing it, then it turns into a paragraph.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. I think taking out the word historically, or we could just create a different sentence like what Emma said, like,
But do we need to?
but do we need to? Or we could just take out historically.
Thoughts? Anybody?
I like removing historically. I think that rings better in my mind as well and seems more inclusive to me
Yeah.
for whatever reason. We also need to change the deadline in that paragraph.
Yeah. Thank you for noticing that.
Yeah.
Well, artists of all ethnicities and cultures are strongly encouraged to apply.
I mean, I almost think like non-majority culture as opposed to marginalized culture. You guys
I'm
decide.
kind of looking it up now, DEI language.
The single artist must represent those applying as an artist team. Is that going to be taken away since now they're not required to do the historical map?
Well, they still could do it
You
as a
still
team.
could,
The
yeah.
map could be done as a team, or the wrap could be done as a team.
Or should it say I don't know, single artist can represent those applying as an artist.
I thought I took out, can we, when you get a chance, can we scroll back up a little bit?
I actually probably, okay, great. How far up do you wanna go, Quack?
Hold on just a second. Selection process. Can you go up the next page, I think? All right, stop right there. Artists will be selected. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Where, I can't remember where that is. I just wrote it. So.
What are you looking for, I'm sorry?
We're talking about, were you talking about the part where it said, a single artist?
It's in this eligibility section.
It's in the eligibility.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's in, right in the middle. A single artist must represent those applying as an artist team. Is that because you want for a team, one person to be the primary applicant?
Yeah, so each team member would need to submit their own application.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, so actually, so I did change that requirement in the, that's why I wanted to move up. So, in the, requirements, the next page up, I did say,
Too far.
too far, go back there,
requirements.
that's okay. Next
Requirements.
page, okay, stop there, go back to criteria. So his, artist will be selected, so images of design proposal, 3 to 5 images of paragraph work, of previous work, 1 to 2 paragraph statements of interest, and if applying as artist team, please provide 1 paragraph statement of interest and 3 work examples for each artist. Because I feel like, so I wanted to actually take that one artist representing a team out, because that feels confusing, because I think, does that mean we only see images from one artist and see a statement from one artist? And I feel like if there's an artist team, we need
Yeah.
to see the work from both artists and the statement of interest of both from
I
both
think
artists.
what Josh was getting to is that he needs a specific contact who do I call by
It's
the
a one
question?
application, it would be
Yeah.
one application.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like artist name, list all names if working in a team. And typically with a group project, I mean, even if, like, if you're working as a team, you probably already worked as a team and we'd be showing group work, or you could submit one image of each work, you know?
Yeah.
But otherwise, for one project, like one wrap or one map.
Yeah,
As long as it's one application, they don't think they have to both submit.
a separate application.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, I think that's all the.
Can you scroll back down?
Yeah, there was a question on
Go
the
back down, where would
insurance.
you like to?
So we're getting rid of that $500 one.
Yeah.
On the timeline, so I guess we need to still figure out though, when in September they were thinking they were gonna unveil this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think we'd have time to announce top designs and then select artist. I think we're gonna end up just having to select the artist.
Right, that would only be if we were gonna give $500 to the 3 top designers,
Which
so
we're
we could
not.
take that out, which we're not, yeah.
And then we would need to know when they would final design too, okay, and then,
Yeah, we need to talk to Josh about that. We have a meeting, we're trying to get a meeting on the books with Josh to just like, yeah.
When do you want this printed? When do you want to take it to the printer?
Yeah,
When do you want to unveil it?
When do we need to, like, when does the artist have to be like, here's the work, here's the images?
Sure.
So,
I kind of like the idea that we talked about before about having the actual event October 1st after the 5K run. And do you want to mention that to Josh?
yeah,
To
yeah,
potentially,
I like that.
if he thinks that's a good,
When is the 5K run? October 1st?
October 1st.
I think that'd be good.
Choir, thank you for this awesome application. It's so much easier to crit something like it's all put together and like
Yeah.
wonderful.
oh, one other question, I think I was in down below on the insurance stuff. Do we need to make sure that they understand that they are selling the artwork, I mean, to the city? Does that make sense?
Well,
Are
that's
they?
the basic
Yeah, that's the entire
indemnification and
thing.
release of liability statement.
Well, I understand that, but they were talking down below, oh, okay, never mind.
Well, there is a question, it's highlighted down below, the insurance. How many artists have insurance? And is that going to prohibit some artists to provide?
Why do they need insurance?
Yeah,
Well,
why do
it's
they?
required, if you go down below, it says they have to list the city, I think, as additional insured.
Oh, no.
Let me find it, yeah.
Yeah,
That,
'cause
you
that's
guys,
like-
honestly, I don't,
This is like,
that might not even apply to this call. There are
I don't
some
think
things
so.
I copy and pasted from a different call so I could have a structure. So I'm not even sure if that's, I think we could just talk to Josh about that because it doesn't make sense that they would need insurance because we're
Yeah,
simply
not
taking their
doing the
image
installation.
and putting it on.
For what it says here, I think it's just saying they need to sign a thing, but maybe they don't even need to sign a thing. So let's look at it when it comes back up. Or is it in here?
No, I think she
And is-
took it off.
Computer does not like this document.
but what
I'm
Josh
sorry,
is-
I will stop using my
No,
open sourced
No, it's called the
community
yes,
created.
no, we're gonna show you
Word.
Google.
You can fix
Yeah,
it.
general commercial liability
The
insurance.
selected artist will be required to sign a basic indemnification and a release of liability statement indicating that the city of Oregon City, its staff, partners, and elected officials are released from liability that may result from the installation of the public art restroom. Yeah, I don't think we need that. I think we should take it out because it's like their digital files, there should be no harm.
No.
There should be no need for them to sign anything.
Yeah.
So I would just take out that whole indemnification and insurance, because it will scare away artists for sure.
Do we have to also include a paragraph that they give us the right to take pictures or use
Yeah.
something for commercial? That's where I ran into problems.
Yeah.
I'm still-
Yeah,
I
if
guess
that's
that's
not
what
in
I'm
there,
thinking.
we should put that in there.
I still have mine with Westland
Can,
Legal, trying to
can
get
you,
the
can you
Archbridge.
send that to me? Like,
Really?
with, like what that looks like?
Yeah, it's not, it's finally approved by Oregon City. It's with Westland now.
That, yeah.
So, yeah, but I'll send you that contract. It's a longer contract, but it has language in
We
that.
just need that-
and how you can,
That
The
snippet.
copyright language.
Yeah.
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 So-
Because also, is this a thing where the artist, because the artist is creating image and then giving us, like creating art and then giving us an image of the art to use as the wrap? Does that mean the artist can't reproduce that image and sell it? Or are we just being like, you made that image, it's cool, and we paid for it to be put on the wrap? Like,
I
how
think
does
it's
that work?
saying you can't limit how, I mean, the city can use it for this purpose and people can take pictures of it. You can't fault the city for people maybe using it, in images or for commercial purposes or something like that,
Yeah.
like.
No,
Well,
I
it
understand
seems
that. I
like
meant-
the city is commissioning a design that
Right.
they can use then as they
So
want.
choose, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're purchasing it.
Right,
done.
they're purchasing the design, but on the other end, the artist is still gonna
But-
have the work. Are they allowed to duplicate the work?
Well, like
Not
in the
really,
map
we're actually
case-
writing a design for a specific piece of architecture. So I don't know if we're actually giving the city permission then to use that image elsewhere.
Well, like
We're
the
just
map,
waiting-
for instance,
Yeah,
that could
yeah,
But it's just a
easily
map,
be.
right, but it's just a map that's on a door of a loo.
Well,
But I
that's
think we
the
are
language
asking
we
for
could
that.
add.
But
need that.
But if we're saying that it's gonna be reproducible and that it belongs to the city, then we need to make that really clear in the
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
absolutely.
asking,
Yeah.
like, if are we wanting it to belong to the city and then they're not allowed to like,
I would think that
We
that's
need
how
to
the
put
city
that
would
in there
want it,
too.
is that
Well,
it's
there's,
there.
hold on, there's
sorry.
two different things being talked about. So,
Oh, yeah.
yes, the city needs to own their artwork and be able to reproduce it indefinitely in whatever format, shape, photograph, whatever. The question that I'm hearing that the artist needs to know, are they able to sell and make money off of the artwork that they are then providing that the city owns? Because they will have copies or possibly the original painting. And so the question on the table that we need to decide is the artist allowed to continue to profit from the work that they sold to the city after they sell it to us?
Of course, yes.
Well, in the case of the map, I would say no.
I agree, in the case of the map,
Really?
no. In the case of the panels, maybe. Because it's
The map, I mean, the city could reproduce on a lot of different ways down the line. But if they were also competing with somebody who had the original, or even just tweaked that original a little, then it could lead to a lot of confusion and all potential issues.
yeah.
I recall Josh saying that, like you were saying, for the map, I think there's interest that DOCA would like to reprint the map and
Yeah.
share the map and,
and if the artist still has to be able to print and make money off of it themselves, that becomes really, it's like
This-
two
yeah.
entities selling the same product and competing with each other.
This is like someone commissioning an artist. We want this artwork. That's it, one of a kind. And we do with it what we want after that.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to just, as we say, like, for the For the map, no, like you were just saying,
Yeah.
Tammy, for the map, no, but for the other, yes.
I would be okay with that, but I'm open to discussion.
Well, I think that could come back at the city level, right? The lawyers, the city manager, they could all come back and say, no, we want it. We don't want you to be able to reproduce it, right?
Yeah, I would say it's either gotta don't reproduce any of it or just the panels. I feel
Do
like
you
the
think you
map.
could find out, Anne, what the city would,
Well, I do remember that Josh was saying specifically that DOCA would, that if we like the map turns out cool, then DOCA will probably reprint it and hand it out to visitors. Yes.
Right, yeah,
So
which
I
is
do
fine.
remember that being said.
Yeah, I could see it being on little placemats at the diner, like wherever, like.
Go ahead, Jen.
I just have a quick question. Would we want to consider that it would be reproducible by the city, but not for sale by the city? But I just wonder about like non-commercial use, rather than saying like, once the city owns this, they can profit off of your work however they want to.
Oh, yeah, indefinitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the same time, it would be a great item to use for fundraising.
Yeah,
You know,
and what
put
if they wanted to put the map on T-shirts or I don't know if we can, if
Can't pay
that's a
the
good
royalty.
idea to make that large decision without really thinking about it.
But if we
But I
were
understand.
clear about it, then very clear in the application, like, hey, this
Yeah.
map, city can reproduce it as much as they want, then at least the artist would know that going in.
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
simply say that final terms will be decided after, with the city? Like, give them heads up that things
No.
could later change?
They gotta know now, because once
Then we
the
need to
artist
ask the
submits.
city, we need the
Yeah.
city lawyers to write off on what they want to do with the agreement.
I feel like the marketing department or whoever's gonna know the answer to like what they do with commissioned, like graphics, photographs, image, like, cause it's not the first time the city's.
That might be a
Bought
good
graphics
approach, like the
before.
same way you
Yeah.
buy a logo or
Right, yeah.
a website design or something like
This is paying
that.
for design services.
Yeah, even
Sure.
like the logo for the city of Oregon City, like an artist created that.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that artists can no longer sell and profit from the logo because,
Right.
they sold it to the city of Oregon City.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to make their own T-shirts and profit from the logo they created for the city wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
This is kind of the same thing.
The agreement that we did up is slightly different. I keep thinking about it because the artist didn't actually sell it to the city. So they have to give permission to the city to use it for photographs. But we put in the contract that they still own their piece. They don't own the whole piece, they can't use all three pieces and market that, but they still have ownership and copyright of their one of three pieces. But they're giving permission to Oregon City to use that for merchandise. And I think we do have it, it's for nonprofit. Like, I can give that to you, it's just that it's slightly different. And that's the question that we're still coming up with. Who actually owns this? Who actually paid for it? Because it was Westland and Oregon City who paid for it. And the Confederated Tribes contributed the artwork, but didn't actually pay for the commissioned artists. So anyway, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
It does.
Do y'all, obviously the map should be we're paying for the service of you designing the map. This is a design service. This is the image we are getting. For the artwork on the side, should that be the same way?
I think
Cause they're gonna,
that should default to the same way.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
for
It
both.
would be hard to have an application with different
Yeah, with different rules.
That's true. Okay.
As much as I would like to keep that
Yeah.
one open for the artist's sake, I
Yeah.
agree that having different rules is challenging.
Unless we're going to really separate the applications, I
Yeah.
feel like it would be so easy to
Which
get.
is unfortunate, but it's true.
Okay, cool. So
Any
I'll probably need help.
feelings?
I'll let you guys decide. I don't see why it would necessarily be confusing to say.
maybe
if you come
not.
up with if you come up with an original image and you design this,
I mean, it's you could have two different paragraphs and really, yeah, you're right, that's,
Yeah.
I'm thinking more just along the lines of the city, we can't get a clear answer from the city on what they want to do, we'd have to default to the expectation that you're selling this to the city and you're not allowed to use it again.
Yeah.
After you sell it.
or at least make profit off of it. It's
Yeah.
not so much using it, it's making money off of it.
Yeah,
And you can use it for portfolio purposes always, like,
Non-commercial,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
I agree with that. I think it's cleaner to do it that way.
okay.
Artists will continue to be able to use the
That's
image
easier
for
for
non-commercial
like
purposes.
us.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes,
That's-
boom, thank you.
You got it.
And I'll send you over the contract.
Okay.
Because there is some language in it that says that, you know,
Yeah.
you can use it for, you know, portfolios and advertising. You can't use it to, but I'll send it over.
Okay.
You just can't make your own
Names
Oregon
and
City
stuff
t-shirts
on it.
from it.
Yeah, okay.
Cool, phew.
Was there
All right.
anything else on that application that we didn't see?
You got any more
highlighted?
yellows for us, Clark?
No, that, we went over all the yellows, thanks, guys.
Choir, that is an amazing job. Thank you so much.
I'll go get Google Docs.
Yeah, for real.
Google Docs.
And she squeezed in helping me with the grant at the same time.
That's true.
Yeah, okay, let's move on in our meeting, as much as I wanna pause and take a breath, cause it's a lot. We should keep going. Okay, so, call it specifications. So enhancement grant, are you guys, is everybody all right if we switch to talking about the grant that we just received? Is any further comments before we switch topics? Okay,
Good.
Arts Commission enhancement grants,
There are copies available if did everybody get a copy of the application?
I don't even know how much we got. How much we get?
13,900, is that what it was?
woo!
So this
Do we
is
know how much we
for-
got already?
Yep, I think it was.
13,900, right?
Yeah.
But you have to submit
13,900.
expenses, right, to get reimbursed.
Yes, that's always for the Metro grant. So we have money left over.
There's no other stuff, right?
Towards the next one.
And is it just for the sculpture, or is it for the
It
sculpture
was for
and
both, so
mural?
anyway, the enhancement grant was two-part, I'll try to do it really quick. It was a two-part, first part is to, hire somebody, put out a call, and we have the great list of all of the artwork in Oregon City. We will give that to that person. They're gonna go through that list and they're gonna prioritize what needs to be replaced or refurbished or restored in priority. What's the worst one? And so that person, what I got quotes from was anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000. It's about 2 weeks to be able to do that. Gave it to someone that looked through it. And at that time, they were even looking at it that they would have to try to find where all the artwork is. But we do have that to give it to them. So in that study is going to be what condition it's in, the description of what needs to be done to have restored, and then an approximate cost for that. So somebody that's familiar with murals, familiar with restoration of murals, and also hopefully familiar with sculpture, at least to be able to get in touch with people that know sculpture. So that's the first part of the grant. The second part of the grant was to take the one that was most in need of either restoration or replacement. And I said, we know this one is damaged beyond repair. We're basing this on the structure in the intersection of Center and 7th, one we've been talking about forever. And so, so that was the grant. The grant was written so that it was, the cost was between 20 and 25,000 to replace that sculpture. We had 5,800 from the insurance, which I used as the matching 30%. I think we needed after it's 20,000. Used that some volunteer hours because we're all going to be trying to manage it. All the hours are already in there. And then the 15,900 to make up for like about 22,000 we have to replace that sculpture. And in researching that, just to let you know, I think we based some of that on a bronze sculpture, a higher price. But the actual sculpture there was a fortified concrete, which means, and I don't know what this means, I know nothing about sculpture, but it's a combination of fiber and concrete. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with that, I am not, so.
Yeah.
So the grant was 15,000, 3,000 for the first part, so we got 12,000 and 5,800 So we have about 18,000 altogether right now? Between the grant and the
Well,
insurance, that's
we
what
have
we
the
have?
5,800 and 15,900 from the grant, so it came to here.
We got 15,900 from the grant and 3,000? So
Did we
actually
get
got a
all
grant
that
of
we
18,000.
requested in the
We
grant?
got, yeah, we
got
got what we
everything we-
requested.
we got-
We got a grant of 18,900 then? I thought you were
Well,
saying we got a grant
we'll
of
be
15,000.
getting the insurance money.
Right.
Yeah,
as
well,
part
so
of the
15, we got
5,800.
15,900 as the grant,
Yeah.
with an additional 5,800
Yeah.
from the insurance. So altogether, but like you said, it's,
But that's minus 3,000, right?
minus the 3,000 or 2,750, I think.
13,000, so we've got about 18,000 for the
So
statute.
this number, Trius, this 15,900, that's what we submitted for our grant request.
Right.
15,900, and that's what they awarded us.
Right.
And that's what's gonna go towards the repairing the broken biome repair sculpture and then assessing all of our public art going forward. So I definitely feel like we made the right choice wrapping them
Yes.
together. Phew, that worked out.
Yeah, and now
could
as
do a-
you're saying this, I almost wish that I had asked for more, that I asked for 22,000. That's doing it.
I'm
We could
sorry.
do a sculpture for
I do need help with the numbers.
Yeah,
What is the
because
total amount we
it's
have to
not
spend on the
bronze,
sculpture?
Yeah.
On the sculpture, we have $18,700.
Okay, thank you. That's all I need to know.
That, from that, I mean, we could technically go into our budget and take more.
That's what we got from the
Additional
grant
fundraising.
money.
Between the
But we
grant and the
shouldn't, we
insurance.
shouldn't
Anything
jump
else
right
would be
in.
going
Grant
into our
and the
budget.
insurance, we have that, but
But we shouldn't
That
use
we
our
may or may
budget
not.
for that.
Right.
I mean, we don't have that much money. We've got a whole 2 years with, what, $60,000?
And this is kind of talking a little bit about the budget and what we went through. But this is just a thought, is to go for the Metro Enhancement Grant this year, we already got it, and to go again, because you can do it 2 years in a row, you can't do it for 3 years. But if we prove to the city by that time that we can take this money, we can complete an art project, we can complete another grant, then in the third year, which I won't be here by then, I'm only 3 years, but whoever is left can say, we proved to you, this is the money that we need. Like what happened in the budget was me and Josh went, and we had about 100,000 that we said, this is what we have found. And we got a really good reaction. Like me and Josh thought we had it. We're like, oh my God, this is great. But when everything kind of filtered out and they had to go for the last meeting, because on top of the budget, there was almost $1 million that people had asked for on top of their budget. So they had to start cutting.
Yeah.
And even then, it looked like we were maybe going to get 60,000 per year for 120, which we were ecstatic. But at the very end, they slashed it. At the very end, they said, no, we don't agree with this. They
It wasn't the
still
whole
have to
commission,
prove them.
though. It was-
Yes, yeah.
I'm not gonna talk
We're
about
not going
it.
to talk about that. I think in 2 or 3 years, and I think those were some of the comments. They haven't proved themselves yet. They haven't.
That was one
So,
person's comment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you should go, and everybody should go and listen to that. So, and this is my takeaway from it, which I wish I knew, coulda, shoulda, wouldas, but I think it's super important that we create relationships with the city commissioners, and that we specifically go to lunch and have lunch and say
That's
to
a good
them,
idea.
we need your support. How do we do that? What do you need from us? What do we need to show you? And I wish I had known that, because I know some of the commissioners, but I think that's really important. I just didn't realize the political part. Like me and Joshua Stat, we were like, we got it.
Well, and
No, we didn't.
I mean, to add to that, it's easy for a lot of people, I think, to cut art as the initial thing in a
It
budget
is.
like that. So while I agree with you on we need to, I think maybe put more in place a plan and show them that we're, maturing this whole program, which just got launched about a year and a half ago, whatever it has been now. I think we also should go out and look at other grants as well. Like, are there other grants we could go after? We could still bump up our numbers in the next few months to year and have enough to really, kickstart a good public arts program, or restart a good public arts program in Oregon City, I think. So I'd like to start looking at, long-term planning thoughts and ideas for getting more grant money in.
That's a good thought.
So, but yeah,
Anyway, I don't want to put it out here now that we have the money. And I know there has been work already. Choir, you kind of looked into how much is a sculpture going to be, you know, what it's going to cost. Where do we go from here? Now that we have that portion, is somebody have, we're also.
One thing
I
I
think
think
we can process our
I'm working on
porta potty.
4 projects plus a full-time job right now,
Yeah.
which I know more than half the people are doing the same thing here, so.
I think we finish our current RFP and then we dive into the next one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
so we don't have to use it right away.
Yeah.
How long do we have on that?
we need to expend the money before June 30 of 2023.
Oh, great,
We have a
okay,
year.
no problem.
Yeah,
let's
and
do that. Let's
I will
do
create a
that.
letter of agreement.
Well, I guess that's one back, just next up on, after we finish this,
Okay.
we're learning from this RFP, we can take what we learn and move forward, yeah.
I'll put together a letter of agreement which I'm doing with every enhancement grant winner. So it'll be, between the city and the commission. So I assume that needs to get signed by you, Tammy Jo. So.
Great.
What was the final budget that they gave?
60,000.
Yeah,
For 2 years.
20,000 per year, and then they fought to give us an extra 20,000 for a special project, which I think what they had in mind was the sculpture, but we can use that for something else. And so-
Well, we could use it for our grants, which is in a sense, special projects specifically for
Exactly.
events and things happening in the city, which I think will prove to them that we're useful.
60,000 for 3 years?
2 years.
Okay, yeah. Like we had when we started again.
No, we have
an extra 20,000,
We have extra 20, we went up by 20.
20 per year.
Oh, it was
And
40,000.
we had 40,000, but it seemed like more because we were already a year into the budget.
Right.
So it seemed like we had
Yeah.
40 for the
I
year,
see.
but we actually had 40 for 2 years.
Got it.
So we're doing good.
Speaking of that, where do we stand on the grants that we handed out last time?
That's a good question.
Well, same thing. We developed the agreements with everybody. And I haven't written any checks yet, but I've talked to all of our applicants and all of our awardees, I should say. If you don't have any plans for Saturday, the Juneteenth celebration is going to be on Saturday. That's the first grant recipient. So I think it's 2 to 5 on Saturday afternoon.
It is 2 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
So-
the library?
Excuse, next to the
Yes.
library, correct, yeah. So,
And I've been working with the Porch Fest people. One of them is a teacher, so she had to wait till this week is over, and then we've already contacted McLaughlin neighborhood to whoever's gonna do the garage, would you be interested in doing a Porch Fest? Some contact over some advertising, so it's kind of picking up some.
I met with Cyrus at the Party Factory. He's very happy. He does plan to do both. I remember we gave him a little bit less than 10,000. Like it was like 6,000 something that we awarded to the Party Factory. He is going to do a mural and the cow. Still going to do that. He knows exactly where he wants the cow to be. If you haven't checked it out, he's put a Oregon City on that. So I think that looks good. So he's going to focus primarily on the alley wall, if you will.
Yeah.
Which I thought that made sense.
And just to give you some feedback too, Ann, I've had 2 people confused about the insurance that they need and who did they ask and how and I've just been saying, I had this is the experience that I have, but call Ann Griffin.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I mean, even the coloring book, we had to put that insurance thing inside. I'm like, oh. Yeah.
Do you know if we requested in the application or in any of the materials anywhere for the awardees to credit the Oregon City, it's the
Yes,
Oregon
we
City
did.
Arts
That is
Commission?
that is in every agreement.
Okay, good.
Okay. Oh,
So-
good.
Okay, good. We can look for that. I will look forward to looking for that.
Funded by the Oregon City
Yeah.
Commission.
Yep,
Make sure that
that's
goes on
in
our next budget
every
request.
agreement.
Okay.
I don't think we have our own logo. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that too. Do we want a logo? I know somebody that can work on it.
Probably has to be approved by the city.
I'm sure it would.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, what would we do for a logo? Does the city help us with that? Or is that something we do on our own?
Or would they
We got a budget.
would they approve a separate logo for us?
Yeah,
I'll find out.
yeah. I mean, why not?
Why not? Get us some,
Or do fun different colors for.
It would be so much more artsy than that. Not that I don't like that one.
I think
It's
that's a
very
nice,
potion
I think that's
stamp.
very nice,
I
yeah.
think it's just fine. It's
Good for a city. I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
could
better
be
than
a lot
most,
more than
honestly.
You can put a rainbow.
that would be a whole. Yeah, that's great, but yeah.
Too many colors, then it's.
No, I think it would need to be more unique. Is what I was gonna
Okay.
say.
Excuse me, sorry.
Okay.
All right, I think we're right on time. 6:31. Is
The
there
only
any?
thing I want to say is one announcement. Pride Night, the 24th, next Saturday. It's been tough going. We've got a lot of pushback, but a lot of strong sponsorship and support. So come out for it if you can, please. So it's going to be at the Oregon City Children's Theater, but also over at Archbridge Tavern and Ingrid's right next door.
What night is
I
that?
think so.
What do you, what's
24th?
it involved?
24th?
So there is there are going to be 5 performers, drag queen performers. Wesley Roberts, who's drag queen for more than 5 years. People that have been on America's Got Talent. I mean, just amazing performers that will be coming out. Speakers from the Oregon City School Department as a united front to say, that this is something that we have to help our children with. So there's somebody making a speech for that. Emma was wonderful. I contacted her. She set us up with so many different people that were supported. Emma's been trying to do this for years. And so it's tough. And so, yeah. And it ended up, there was also some problems with even budget and have planned it through DOCA. So at the last minute, it's really sponsored by, I think there's probably at least 10 or 11 sponsors that have supported it. If you go online, you can still support it if you want. They're looking for some more donations. It was never in the DOCA budget and they lost their executive director. So they were scrambling, trying to find a way to be able to support it. And we just went out individually and just started contacting community. So, but I can't even tell you some of the stories of the backlash that everybody's come against this year. DOCA, Chamber, the library, Clackamas Community College, there's a lot of pushback, so, yeah. it's
For the
tough.
Pride Night in particular
Oh,
or
yeah.
in general?
Oh, yeah, like,
CCC's
Yeah.
pushing back against Pride Night.
Because they did it
Not
last week.
CCC.
not CCC,
No.
they're pushing at
People are
CCC.
pushing
People are
against
calling
CCC.
CCC, saying, if you do this.
They had a Pride celebration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do a great celebration. But they had more pushback this year than they have ever had. Tim Cook said, he said, I don't know what's going on. And the same thing with the library.
I know what's going on.
Yeah.
So come out and support it.
This is nonpartisan.
All right.
Arts Commission.
Thank you, Trish. Do we have any other announcements? All right.
I have one announcement, I guess.
Okay.
So the March 16 meeting that I missed, I had a big test the next day and I passed and I got my stamp today in the mail.
Test
So,
for.
registered geologist for state of Oregon.
That really rocks.
That rocks. All right, any other things? All right, that concludes our meeting.
Yay!
Yay.